stuff going, but why don't we give the people what they're here for? Let's get with that Fitzgibberish.
Are they actually here for that?
They're always
all
here
right. Hello, friends. It's another edition of Fitzgibberish, a diatribic conspiracy, and an island in the middle of unapologetic and sometimes inaccurate sports talk. Mike Clevenger, who strikes an uncanny resemblance to Red Hot Chili Peppers lead singer Anthony Kiedis. If Anthony Kiedis stayed under the bridge downtown for the last 30 years. Thank you, Anthony. Anyway, Clevenger went 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks, and no runs on Friday. All in all, a pretty good outing. I was strangely or not so strangely reminded of a book I once read, probably because it's about bullies. The book's name, Blitzed. Drugs in the Third Reich. Yes, I'm going to talk about Nazi Germany, a groundbreaking book from 2015 by Norman Aller that discovers a surprising truth of Nazi Germany's all-consuming reliance on drugs. Clevenger has had many instances of immature behavior and alleged drug use by the baby mama. Follow my logic here for a moment. In Aller's book, he documents with great precision and detail the rampant use of methamphetamine in Nazi Germany. So much so that Hitler was known to use meth regularly to help with his speeches, alertness, and fearlessness. The same can be said for his troops, who were experimented on throughout 1938 by a drug called Provatine, just a fancy name for crystal meth. And their lead up to the Blitzkriegs that would terrorize Europe and the rest of the world. Provatine was so prevalent that it made its way into all parts of society in Nazi Germany, including a certain sweet whose popularity precedes itself. We're going to listen to Norman Aller here describe it.
An example how popular methamphetamine was in Berlin, because this is an ad for a chocolate laced with crystal meth. And you see she's very happy. Yeah. One little chocolate contained 13 milligrams of methamphetamine, which is apparently a very high dosage.
The picture The picture was of a woman holding a box of chocolates, by the way. As the war drew on, the gains would not and could not continue. Every tweaker has to come down at some point. Bad decisions at Dunkirk, also a terrific movie by Christopher Nolan. Funding a two-front war with both West and East Europe and the Battle of Bulge not only made the Nazis look weak, but incompetent. Making decisions emotionally without thinking, which was uncharacteristic of the robotic discipline earlier in the war. Well, when GIs came back from the war, they didn't just bring back Harleys. They brought back meth. Lots of baseball's prominent players who fought in the war allegedly brought the idea back of taking meth. They called it greenies, crank, ice, chalk, wash, trash, dunk, gack, pookie, cookies, Christina? No
Where
nose.
are you going with this?
No nose. It is Fitzgibberish. White Cross, cotton candy, rocket fuel, and probably later on Scooby snacks. In some clubhouses, they had plain coffee and what they called hot coffee. Now, stimulants were banned in Emmenblee in 2005, just in time for my White Sox to take the lead by storm, unless you had a prescription of Adderall. In 2018, it was said that 15% of baseball players were taking Adderall, had a prescription. Yes, the drug that is 1 molecule away from meth. The same drug that in a study, 80% of college kids said they would take for their finals. The same drug that Lars Anderson, ex-MLB prospect and Japan Major League player, said in a piece by The Athletic gave him boundless energy. The side effects of Adderall: diarrhea, dizziness, dry mouth, high blood pressure, fever, headache, insomnia, mood swings, and aggression, and a stomach ache. I don't know why they put that in there. You already said diarrhea. The side effects of meth increase alertness, decrease appetite, dizziness, increase physical activity, rapid heart rate, insomnia, almost the same things, mood swings, aggression. Clevenger, we're back at him, okay? We came back full circle, kind of. An obvious result. Clevenger, an obvious result of a Kid Rock, Honey Boo Boo one night stand, walked up to Gold Digger on Friday. Talk about a bully. His first home game of the year, obvious dig on his baby mama. His response to reporters when they asked him was, "Are you a music producer?" "No." "Okay. Well, if you have a baseball question, I'm here for you." That's how I would think he sounds. A little passive aggressive,
Great impression.
sound a little passive aggressive and mood swingy. Allegedly, Olivia Feinstead, the baby mama I've been talking about, posted marks from him throwing an iPad at her while pregnant. Also described an incident when he threw used chewing tobacco at their infant child. She left after he strangled her, allegedly. After the MLB investigation sort of cleared Clevenger, he did submit to evaluations by joint treatment boards that will no doubt test him for drugs. Probably not Adderall, though. Even though they did it, it's out of their system. Even if they did, it's out of your system in a few days. And although I'm sure Adderall helps many people, a drug user is going to do what they can get away with. You know what they will test him for that is out of your system in over a month? Marijuana. Yes, marijuana or weed. Actually, marijuana only means Mexican tobacco. You know why? Because the illegality of it was used to deport Mexicans to Mexico and imprison African Americans from jazz clubs that had become so prevalent in the 20s and 30s in America. On the day after Jackie Robinson Day, one of our favorite baseball days of the year, we have meth that has been distilled down over 100 years by chemists to what people call cocaine perfected, or Adderall. We have oxycodone and hydrocodone that was supposed to be distilled heroin or morphine and non-habit forming. If those aren't habit forming, then I am Anthony Kiedis. You know what's not habit forming? Fucking reefer. With 100 years to study Mary Jane and not just the last 5, what pain could we have extinguished? What countless lives and hearts of families could we have saved? Who do we think we are? I'll let Norman Aller take us out on a similar Nazi hypocrisy.
They very early on combined anti-Semitic policies with anti-drug policies, saying lots of Jews are taking drugs and drugs are toxins and Jews are toxins, and we have to create a pure German society that gets rid of all these unhealthy elements. And then the big irony is the hypocrisy of the system. It becomes very visible when in the mid-30s, a Berlin company called Temmler, which still is a global player today in the pharmaceutical industry, developed a new medicine, cure-all, as they advertised it, and they branded this as Pervitin, and the active ingredient is methamphetamine, which today we know as crystal meth.
And that's Fitzgibberish. Thank you, my friends.